edition of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right? So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon.
Off the dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at the University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row.
Swing and a miss. Oregon is headed to the Super Regional.
Fans being out there making this a great impact.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
We've got head coach Dan Lanning for you coming up right off the practice field. A helping hand today from Alex Stimson in the studio. You never know what's going to happen when Alex and the Quack Video crew are in the Country Financial Studio. Tonight in the Country Financial Studio, Dan Lanning and Jabbar Muhammad will be our guests on the Oregon Football Coaches Show. I'm really looking forward to getting to know Jabbar Muhammad. Quite the story, from Oklahoma State to Washington, now in his senior season here at Oregon. Really looking forward to letting everyone get to know him. A great guy. Awesome player to root for. Coach's Show tonight, just after 7 o'clock. We'll be on the air officially at 7:05 across the Oregon Sports Network and on the various Oregon football social media channels, as well as the Go Ducks YouTube, where you might be watching Duck Insider right now. And if you are, thanks for joining us. We've got Coach Lanning in a moment. Also, Rob Moseley, the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com, will be with us. And just coming out, if you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, there have been multiple Hall of Fame honors for LaMichael James over the course of his career. LaMike has gone into the Oregon athletics, college football. I mean, basically every Hall of Fame that you can find related to college football, he's probably in it. And now today, just announced he's joining the Rose Bowl Hall of Fame. That's pretty special for LaMichael James, joining the Rose Bowl Hall of Fame today. Also, Dante Manning, Dylan Gabriel, Derek Harmon, Jamari Caldwell, Trayshawn Holden have all met with the media this week. We have those interviews for you coming up on today's program, and then some on tomorrow's program as well. Boise State, 7 o'clock, televised on Peacock. It will be a 7:05 official kickoff when the Ducks host the Broncos. And, just today, Coach Lanning was asked about the history between this game. So was Trayshawn Holden. And to sum it up, let's put it this way. Everyone's aware of the history and the record between Boise State and Oregon. Also, no one that's currently on this team was here the last time the Ducks played the Broncos. So, I don't know. But here's what I'll say. Yeah, Boise State, Oregon, a little bit of a regional rivalry. Bronco fans get up for the Ducks. Here's hoping that Oregon fans really bring it when Boise State is in town. Also, hot one last weekend. Going to be a hot one again this weekend, even with a 7 o'clock kickoff. Hydration stations, there will be more of them throughout Autzen Stadium. Austin with a big, Austin was like, I was ready for a hydration station. So, fans, we know that was a concern last week, and I encourage everybody to go to GoDucks.com with the clear bag policy. What can you bring in for a refillable water bottle? Valuable. Get a water bottle at the concession stand. Don't throw that in the recycling bin. Go to those hydration stations. Keep refilling. Please do so, and make sure that you're with us for the fourth quarter at Autzen Stadium here as well. All right, after practice today, Dan Lanning, every time we talk with him, it's brought to you by the White Valley Cancer Institute Research Center. Better cancer care close to home. Dan Lanning, the Duck football head coach, off the practice field this morning.
All right, good day at work. The guys had a really good juice and energy. Third down red area today for us today, but I thought our guys did a good job attacking. So open it up.
What makes their edge rusher 91 to lead them on that?
Yeah, more than anything, relentless effort, right? He just keeps continuing to push. Does a good job with counter moves inside. Also, they do a lot of games up front, which makes it challenging. And combination of him and 10 mixing in there, I mean, they do a really good job.
Is there anyone in the last couple of years you compare him to, Dan? Just because there weren't a ton of elite pass rushers in the Pac-12 that you guys face. I know Latu, Ellis, but Anybody like that?
Yeah, I don't know that I compare him to anybody else. He's a really good player, though.
How's Jay done in that Ashton Genty role in the scout team for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, all of our backs, Noah's over there today. I mean, they've done a good job. You know, again, one of the things that makes him so different is his ability to stiff arm, right? And he does a really good job with that stiff arm. You see it on film consistently. But our guys have given us a really good look this week.
Walking in here and the crowd noise being pumped in, what all preparation goes into playing in such a loud environment, even if it's your own stadium?
Well, just what you hear, right? We try to create crowd noise and some chaos at practice, so whenever it does show up, we're prepared for it. We'll get that on offense when we're on the road, and obviously on defense we get it here at home, so we have to be able to practice with it.
How elite they are in 3rd and 4th down conversions is Genty, and how much of that is the O-line and play calling?
I think it's all that. I think it all ties in. They do a good job of running at times. I think they do a really good job getting the ball to their backs out of the backfield. They are sound in their protection rules, and they work inside out, right? So do a really good job of that.
So many big names on the roster, such a talented team. What can a guy do in practice to set himself apart from the rest?
Make plays. Yeah, make plays. Just work really hard, right? Best guys will be out there on the field.
Certainly saw a lot of production from Derek this past weekend. What did you see from him in reviewing the tape?
I think a lot of what we see show up in practice showed up in game. He practices with relentless effort. That same thing showed up in the game. Did a good job with rush lanes and pushing the pocket, and then a good job on run. Right, but he can create negatives for us.
Jamari doesn't necessarily show up in the box score, but a lot of what he does is plugging gaps and lanes for a game like this coming up. Just what did you see from him the first go-around, and what do you hope to see from him this Saturday?
Yeah, I thought he played with good effort. I think we need to be able to get as many plays as we possibly can out of him at a really high level, but he's a disruptive player. He ends up in the backfield a lot. It will certainly be important in this game where you have to stop the run.
What's the key for the offense this week to find the end zone a little bit more than they did last week?
Yeah, stay in sequence and rhythm, right? Don't get off schedule. Don't end up with 3rd and longs. Don't shoot ourselves in the foot with penalties. And if we do that, we can move the ball.
You talked at the end of the game on Saturday about looking for more explosive plays moving forward. Are there specific guys you're looking to see those from?
It's more the unit, right? How as a unit do we create explosives? And that's, again, being connected at the end of plays. You have to take what the defense gives you at times, but can we go find somebody to block when the ball's thrown? Can we go a little bit extra effort to create that explosive run?
What have you seen from Boise State's defense?
Yeah, I mean, it's exotic. They do a lot of different things. I think they create, preparation. It makes it tough because of the different units they use and how much they move around. Do a really good job mixing up coverages and changing things. So it's a tough one to prepare for.
You mentioned in practice just the explosive plays and guys making the extra effort. Are you seeing that in practice and showing up?
We saw it today. Yeah, definitely saw it today.
How immediately correctable are some of the offensive line things from last weekend to just see a step taken this week?
I think everything's correctable, right? That's your job as a coach. So, things are definitely correctable from that front.
What's the competition like between Poncho and Nishad at that guard spot right now?
I think there's great competition across our offensive line in general.
You mentioned before being conscious about the number of snaps that defensive linemen play and make sure to keep them fresh. Does that mindset kind of carry over to the linebackers as well?
No, not necessarily. You can play as many winning snaps as you can play, but I think it more than anything, that probably carries across our team. If you have guys that can play, winning football at a really high level, you want to be able to get guys in there.
How's Bedford progressing, and what do you expect in terms of?
Yeah, it's progressing well. Progressing well.
Can we ask who you've been using as scout, to imitate Ashton?
Like I said, every one of our backs have been over there helping us out.
Do you reference the all-time record with Boise, 0-3? Is that?
Yeah, we've talked. Our players are aware of the history in this game for sure, and excited to get an opportunity to step in the field.
Thanks, Coach.
Everything has to be looked at that way, right? Like, it's an opportunity heading into another matchup. I look forward to a spirited day at Autzen Stadium. To be honest with you, I think that all of the coaches and players would agree with this. It was a spirited effort for the Ducks at practice on Monday. Coach Lanning, I think, was pretty happy with the way the Ducks responded when he had his press conference on Monday. Dylan Gabriel said it. It's been fiery. And in fact, let's hear from Dylan Gabriel and Dante Manning when we come back. We've got Rob Moseley, the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com, coming up today as well, talking all things Ducks ahead of Boise State on the horizon for Oregon. 7 o'clock. Can't get here soon enough. When we come back, let's talk with Dante Manning and Dylan Gabriel. Keep it here, Duck Insider, on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union.
All right, how is that, sir?
OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by your local branch.
Okay. All right. We're going to have to go get, like, the main tech.
Your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
More Duck Insider from the Country Financial Studios after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Ma, is this how you feed a hamster?
I think so.
Is my homework right?
I think so.
Is, this milk still good?
I think so.
When it comes to parenting, sometimes it's okay to think you know. But when it's something as important as your child's car seat, don't just think. Know. Double check if your child is in the right seat for their age and size. It'll help protect them in a car crash. Don't just think. Know by visiting nhtsa.gov/the right seat. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Rob Moseley going to be with us coming up. Dante Manning, after practice yesterday, the Oregon cornerback, summarized some of the things the Ducks want to get better at defensively. And really, I think we could all agree, for the most part, Oregon's defense pretty darn stout against Idaho. Duck defensive back Dante Manning meeting with all of us in the scrum, as we call it, yesterday.
After watching the tape on Sunday, how do you guys feel you are prepared going into the second week?
We just ready to, we went to go see the doctor, and we just ready to go out and perform and, kind of let the world know what we've been working on.
What did the doctor say?
The doctor really ain't like what he seen, but we just going to correct it and, get back in there and take it to the practice field.
What were the things for you guys defensively, Dante, that were at issue?
Just being able to communicate solid through, making sure that we all got the call and able to play the same call. Just being able to tackle and just make sure we all around the ball.
What do you think you guys did well? Because the defense, for the most part, held its own.
I think we came out there with the energy that we said we was going to come out with. Nobody felt like they were jittery or scared or anything. I feel like we perfectly executed what we thought we was going to do as far as kind of attacking the ball as much as we did. We would like to get some of those, but, we did great on attacking the ball.
Dan said Boise's running back might be the best he's coached against since coming here. What have you seen on film that makes him a player like that?
He a real stocky back, can move in space, just real nice. Mm-hmm.
How important is communication or pre-snap communication going to be for you this week? Dan talked about they just do a lot of motions, a lot of checks and stuff. How important is that going to be for you guys?
It's going to be real crucial, just being able to know what call you in before pre-snap and then post-snap, knowing if the call changed or not. So just making sure that the defense is on one page is going to be real critical this week.
What have you seen from their quarterback on film that you're keying on this week and get ready for Saturday?
He's a pretty good quarterback, able to make those shots and, when it's a fake, able to carry those fakes out real nice. He can rally the team, so the team is behind him. So he's a pretty real good quarterback.
Kind of a rotation at corner. What was that like, just kind of coming in and out so frequently?
Just making sure that everybody can get their rhythm in the game, making sure that nobody's too late in the game to find their rhythm, just making sure everybody juiced up and kind of got the blood flowing.
Dante Manning, the Oregon defensive back, meeting with the media. Now to the offensive side. Yesterday, I've been referencing The fiery practices, as Dylan Gabriel described it. The Oregon quarterback on that, and a few other notes from the Oregon quarterback, who's always, look, Dylan is the kind of guy, he's been through this. He's just a good leader in these interviews. Listen to this.
What did the film review just show you guys on Sunday and today?
Yeah, just a lot to fix and a lot to clean up. But that's good things as well. Practice has been fiery, and it's been good. So, yeah, we needed that. We needed just to keep getting better. And you look at the film, and you just keep diving into how we can improve.
What do you think you guys did well on Saturday?
I thought in the pass game we did a good job of catching and just being efficient in the pass game, taking what they gave us, and then also I felt like we mixed up a lot of formations and stuff like that, which I think is very beneficial to what we want to do. But yeah, I think overall just a bunch to clean up as we look back.
What's made practice fiery? Like, what are the examples of describing that?
Just in general, pads are smacking, and naturally it's just going to be fiery. You go through camp, you go through a week prep, and then now you're kind of getting into the thick of things of getting into season. And yeah, I like seeing that side of people, and preparation. It's a process, and I just love seeing everyone compete through it.
As a leader of this team, what the last 48 hours looked like for you, kind of rallying the troops and getting them back in the right mode?
Yeah, getting better. And I think that's whatever the outcome. The process of getting better and finding ways to improve. That's whether you beat somebody, whatever to 0, or it's a close game and you win or you lose. Like you have to get better from it. And I felt like, keeping that the main thing. Of course, pushing one another to be uncomfortable and get better and keep pushing, pressing. I think that's definitely been, kind of our, motto for everyone. So.
How immediately correctable do some of the issues feel? Like, do you feel like you could see a big step taken on Saturday from what we just saw?
For sure. I just think in general, it's a lot of things. On offense, it's about execution, and on defense, it's about being in the right spot at the right time. And I felt like, at times on offense, we didn't execute well. And we didn't even give ourselves a chance to, do that. So it starts with me, for sure. I'm the guy who snaps in, get us in the right looks, and pushing the tempo, controlling it. And, at times we didn't do that. So good and bad from every, game you go through.
In terms of the protection specifically, Dylan, anything that you could do better? I mean, you can't make the line calls for somebody.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the calls were wrong, but what are things that you can do if protections clearly was an issue?
Yeah, I think just being creative in what we do, and I think we did that. I do think, we look back like on that first sack, Pat kind of chipped him right into an open B gap, and they took advantage of that. So certain things like that, I say about executing, not beating ourselves. It just was wrong place, wrong time. But then you also look back at how efficient we were in the pass game as well. With throwing 49 times and 3 sacks are unacceptable, but that's on my end too, getting the ball out, not taking a sack, and trying to be proactive in that. But I think I'm a big guy. I'm in the week of prep. When we get to the game time, it's all about solutions. But in the week of prep, it's about pushing, obviously figuring out what we didn't do well and pushing and pressing on that to make it a strength of ours.
There were a lot of fans in like the 48 hours afterwards that were just looking at it and thinking this should have been more than a 10-point win over Idaho.
Yeah.
Did you guys look at it like that, or like is it fair for the fan? Like, has it been an overreaction, do you think, or is this just part of the kind of the ebbs and flow of a new team in a new season?
I think there's a bunch of missed opportunities, on our end that we didn't maximize, and you look at a bunch of things, 2 4th down conversions that, we should have been converting on. Had a right play call, but, certain things didn't go our way and execution wise. How do you emphasize that during practice to go get that 4th and inches. That's something we pride ourselves on as well. So I think, when you look back, of course, after the game, you're emotional and you have certain thoughts, but then you dive deeper into the film, you watch it 2-3 times, and you realize that there's opportunities there, but we just didn't take advantage of them, and you talk about pre-snap penalties, and that's negatives, within a drive that you just can't have. I'd ask James, what do you like on, 3rd and 20, 2nd and 20, no, that's not a great situation for anyone, playing Madden or even in college football or in the NFL. You want to create positive plays, you want to stay ahead, and we have, 2, chunks that were taken back by, flags. But that's what we emphasize. That's part of me getting everyone set, getting people rolling, and I think that's the main message is how do we maximize the opportunities we get, because it's going to be 4 to 5, maybe 6 plays in a game that could be the difference. So what, why leave it up to chance? That's kind of been it. So.
All right, thanks, Dylan.
That's an informed veteran answer from Dylan Gabriel, isn't it? I mean, he's played a lot of football, became the 8th quarterback in the history of the FBS to throw for over 15,000 yards in his career when he had his great debut, by all accounts, against Idaho. Really high completion rate. Idaho brought a lot of pressure, got it out quickly. We've talked about that over the last couple days, and I really feel like as the season goes on, you're going to see just that veteran ability that he has. But like every good veteran leader, what's he say too? Hey, there's opportunities there that we can get better at. There's other things that can be done. And you look at the stats. Ryan was talking about this on Monday. You look at all of the stats and you encapsulate and put in context. I think that the message for me this week is finishing those drives, getting into the end zone more often, because the Ducks did have some opportunities where they shot themselves in the foot. Similarly, the Ducks had some opportunities where if 1 or 2 things go a different way, suddenly the floodgates can open. That's what the momentum of a game can do for you. I look again for a quick start against Boise State. I think the offense getting into rhythm will be important. And I should tell you, Will Stein, Oregon's offensive coordinator, we've got him on the pregame show starting at 5 o'clock. He'll be our assistant coach spotlight this week. Looking forward to talking with Will Stein. Also looking forward to talking with Rob Moseley. Mose is coming in, editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com. Let's get a break, and we'll let Rob get comfortable and put the headset on. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear summer vacay.
Better.
Toyota. Go off-road in the 4Runner. Haul it all in the Tundra. Play hard in the Tacoma. Or take the scenic route in the all-new, all-hybrid Camry. Visit Toyota.com for more info. Toyota. Let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear summer vacay. Load up on fun in a new Toyota. Go off-road in the 4Runner. Haul it all in the Tundra. Play hard in the Tacoma. Or take the scenic route in the all-new, all-hybrid Camry. Visit Toyota.com for more info. Toyota. Let's go places.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Come on.
Joey Mack and Rob Moseley. We're in the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Rob went with the O and the big shirt today. And Rob's fresh off a birthday bash for Greg Walker. Shout out to Greg Walker. Happy birthday, Greg.
Absolutely. Happy birthday.
Yeah, we love Greg. You sent this out on Twitter. X. It's still Twitter, right?
Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Twitter. That guy's seen some things around the Oregon Athletic Department.
Yeah, man, he's been men's basketball SID. He's been track and field SID, soccer and softball now.
Yeah.
He's been here for, like 20-something years.
On the Hall of Fame committee.
Yeah,
Tough
on the Hall
job.
of Fame committee. Yep.
Tough job.
And, yeah, in terms of, like, record-keeping archivist type guy, has done a lot.
Yeah, I liked your tweet. Rob put this out on Twitter. They're like, hey, that's a behind-the-scenes guy that deserves a shout. So Greg Walker, shout out, happy birthday to Greg Walker. And Rob is well-fed, ready for the afternoon now.
I kind of feel like post-Thanksgiving right
Do you
now.
actually?
Yeah, like I had a large sandwich, and now I'm like, okay.
What's the afternoon look like then? You got anything to write? I mean, is it going to just be a malaise for you?
No, I mean, I got to edit some photos. I got to put together a little practice recap.
Yeah.
Nothing too bad.
Yeah.
Enough to, I'll rally.
Yeah.
I'll dig deep.
So what is the editor-in-chief coming off of his visit to the doctor after week 1? What's the editor-in-chief want to get better at heading into week 2 here, Rob?
Oh, man, that's a good question. You know, I had 2 different instances Saturday where I got up from my seat on press row.
Okay.
I went to get a drink.
Okay.
And instead came back with extra brisket.
Well, that's not bad.
The press box brisket was great.
Shout out John Sargent. The smoker was well-reviewed week 1.
But I probably needed to be a little bit more disciplined. So that's something I can focus on.
Nah, you look great, Rob.
If there's another elite meal Saturday,
right,
I got to not let myself get caught up.
Or
get caught up.
It's cheat day.
Yeah.
How many O cookies did you have game 1?
I only had the one, and actually I didn't think about this until you bring it up now. Obviously, as Dan Lanning said after the game, you know, the game they thought might have looked a little different.
Yep.
I can explain what happened. The first O cookie of the year was fumbled to the ground and smashed into a bunch of pieces.
It's your fault.
Yep.
Wow. Did you go back and get another
one? The moment it happened, I was like, OMG, that's a bad sign.
That's an omen.
And then I didn't think about it again until you just brought it up. Yeah.
So you had to go back and replace said O cookie, right?
Correct. I did not eat it off the ground.
That is I
don't have a lot of pride, but I have a little pride.
Yeah. Very Sandlot, bad omen vibes there.
Oh, my bad.
So,
I will be better ball security with the O cookie
secure
this week and moving forward.
So should we run you through like an old school Oklahoma drill with the O cookie like we need to have you drill that this week?
I don't got many brain cells left. I got to keep the ones I got.
I get
no Oklahoma drills for me.
Okay, well, it all makes sense now.
Yep.
So I said last week that Rob was often my signal to go get an O cookie. I have to tell you, I've been waiting on this one until you were on the air with me today. So we had our expanded crew in the booth. We've added Chris and Ryan, who are joining us in the booth for football. And I got to tell you, 3 different members of the broadcast crew asked me if I was ready for my O cookie before I even saw your tweet. Rob, I got to say, I have never felt more like my village takes care of me than in that moment.
Yeah.
It was just really rewarding for me.
Suck-ups.
Yeah. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Well played.
But the fumble of the O cookie, man, I'm devastated for
it.
It
all makes sense now.
It all makes sense.
Yeah.
It
happened in slow motion.
Like you saw it like tumbling to the ground.
Remember at the end of The Usual Suspects when he drops the coffee cup and then it's like that's what it was like.
Did the frosted part stay together or did that even break?
No.
Oh, that's a bad drop.
Like cuz it was like on like a couple of stairs too. So I think there was like a ba-boom, ba-boom. Yeah, just
not good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it all makes sense now, and so week 2 will be better.
Yep.
Look, we say this every year. Like some of the biggest improvement over the course of a season happens between week 1 and week 2. And I was actually just listening to Spencer Danielson's press conference, Boise State's head coach. He said the same thing. Like there's a lot of unknowns in week 1, and then heading into week 2, Ducks hope to get better in a lot of areas, like every team around the country.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you heard Dan Lanning talk about it the other day. You heard him talk about it today. Explosive plays, being better up front. Being able to run the ball between tackles a little bit better. There's no secrets there. Where they feel the need to get better and what they're trying to address in practice. Every practice you're trying to kind of address everything. You can't just say, hey, we're not going to focus on this because we gotta react to what we what we saw in a game. But yeah, I think the message from the doctor was pretty clear, and the prescription is taking place now the last couple of days.
Yeah, Dante Manning we just played the quote from Dante Manning where he was like, doctor didn't really like what he saw.
Right.
But also, I got to say, like, you and I listen to so many interviews both at Oregon and beyond. Like, I appreciate that honesty from somebody, like, hey, there are things to get better at.
Yeah, no doubt. I was talking to somebody around the department the other day, too, just about kind of how the game went operationally from a fan perspective. And, as always, we heard from some fans. It was like, hey, this could have been better. I would have liked to hear this song rather than this song on the, whatever. Even in situations like that, on the field, off the field, sometimes you just got to say, hey, we could have been better, and we will try to be better. So sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to overpromise this or that, or say, hey, we're going to do here's how we're going to get there, or here's our excuses, here's why this happened. Sometimes you just got to say, hey, yeah, things weren't up to standard, and we're going to do our best to make sure it is next time.
Well, and look, there is so much pressure on the student athletes, on the staff. You talk about like anything just around Autzen Stadium, like, yeah, there's no doubt about it. I appreciate the humanity of what you just said more than I can maybe express in this setting. And to that point, like, every coach in America is saying X, Y, Z, maybe A, B, C can get better. I mean, that's what coaching is at this point of the season.
And where the ceiling is for this Oregon team too. You're talking about, you can't afford, say this game had gone like the Portland State game last year. I mean, you couldn't afford not to still have the attitude of, hey, what needs to get better?
Right,
because if you're the margin between the truly elite teams is not that great, and what's going to decide, who makes the playoff, who wins the playoff is going to could be small things that you're cleaning up right now. And so that's kind of the mentality you got to take. Certainly week to week. Hey, you want to be better, week 1 to week 2, but you're also thinking long term. Like, what are the things that your team's going to need to focus on to be playing its best when it matters most as well. So it's such a hard job. I mean, being a head coach. I mean, how you balance all those competing interests, short term, long term, all that, and message things right to your team and balance what you're focusing on in practices and all that. It's just it's an intricate symphony.
You mentioned the Portland State game. I was talking to Dusty Hara about this last week. How that game just became like, well, Oregon's just steamrolling, for lack of a better phrase, right? And yet after the game, I remember, and Dusty and I were talking about this, like, it was, well, we can get better at this, we can get better at this, we can get better at this. Like, sometimes the scoreboard, and that's where I know fans maybe sometimes get tired of hearing coaches talk about things like the process and how important that is. But, that is true. Like, you want to learn from a win, whether it be a close win or a blowout win. That's kind of the idea here.
Right. I mean, you don't want to be Florida State right now.
No.
Feeling like the issues that cropped up cost you 2 games already this season. And we've talked about how the playoff format obviously is a little more forgiving now, but that's putting yourself in a hole.
Right.
So, the best case scenario would be, to have some things exposed that you really need to work on in a game that you still win, but it gets your attention to the point that you do address those things. So, we've talked multiple times the last few weeks about how you never really know the significance of something until long term. And so we're not going to know kind of how the Idaho game was processed and digested and learned from. We're not going to really know that for several weeks now. Even what happens, Saturday night against Boise State is, statistically kind of a small sample size. So, we're all going to what's crazy about college football is there's so few games that you do have to draw conclusions from on a week to week basis. But again, in terms of where the ceiling is for this Oregon team, where it wants to go, the things lessons need to be learned, things that need to be cleaned up. Those are long-term things as well as short-term.
Yeah. Rob Moseley, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com. A comment from Anitra on your shirt, by the way. That's a Rob Moseley exclusive around the department these days.
That is absolutely not true.
I don't think it's a duck store availability, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'll put it that way. Yeah. I think that was a department Big 10 Day celebration, right?
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. But, there might be some other Big 10 branded things that end up in the duck store and such places.
Yeah, and I could sell this.
I don't know, man. That's already gotten some good practice wear for you. It seems like a good one.
It's not bad yet. It's not too ripe yet.
Talking a little bit more, too, about Boise State. Coach Lanning said this today, too. Like, Ducks are 0-3 against Boise State. Like there is certainly a portion of the fan base that has bad memories against the Broncos, and Jorgie even said it on our postgame show, like, hadn't had a lot of fun playing the Broncos.
Yeah.
So certainly there's not a lot of people that are on this current staff, and there's no one on the team that has a lot of those memories, but still something that I'm at least aware of. There's a regional rivalry in some ways.
Yeah, and they're aware of it now.
No doubt.
Certainly if you're looking for motivational tactics, reminding this team of some of those results and kind of how they came to be and the attitude those Boise teams brought into those games and is probably going to bring into this game.
At an edge.
Are you going to be able to match that and match their or even exceed their competitive fire? I mean, that's one of the challenges this week. Is to not just feel like, kind of mid-major for lack of a better term. No, this is a team that has been a real thorn in this Oregon program side.
Yeah.
And in some were some pretty good seasons too, that they managed to spoil some results. So it's kind of a wild stat. I was talking to somebody today. It's kind of weird. It's only happened 3 times.
I know. Yeah.
You would have thought, maybe 80s, 90s, and I'm not sure kind of what level they've always played at. Obviously, I assume they didn't go from Boise Junior College to Division I, but
there was growth there. But to your point, like I actually have said this before, Oregon and Boise have been on similar trajectories in the last 30 years. Oregon, I think, has risen higher, just looking at the results in national standing. But really, to think about that, like those are 2 West Coast schools that have kind of had this rise in the last 3 decades.
No doubt about that. And yeah. No doubt about that.
Yeah. So and here's hoping that Oregon can buck the trend, I suppose. Televised on Peacock, and do I need to change my vocabulary? Should I say streamed on Peacock?
As soon as you said the word televised, I was like, is that accurate?
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but I go back and forth with that too, like using the word broadcast, telecast, like in certain situations.
Broadcast is more broad. I like broadcast.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
There's still a radio broadcast.
Sure.
That's a broadcast. It's not a radio cast. Was that ever a thing? Did we ever call it that?
I don't know, but what's the etymology of it? Like, why is the word cast used? Does that imply like over airwaves?
I think so.
So
like you cast it to your TV. We took that from broadcast.
Right. So there's an instance where cast actually still technically applies.
So it's a cast.
But so very rarely though otherwise does it.
So it's and then what's the difference between a stream and a broadcast?
Because
a stream is part of a broadcast.
But this is all going to be going through wires, right? I mean, nobody who's watching this, or a lot of people who are watching this aren't going to be seeing, there's going to be no transfer over airwaves that takes place at any point in the process, is there?
Well, we could really get into the weeds here.
Yeah.
The answer is no, there would still be over air involved in some circumstances, but it depends on how you're consuming it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Broadcast.
If you're watching on your phone, right? No wire plugged in.
I don't understand how you crazy kids do that, man. I still can't get,
like on your phone.
Yeah, watching a movie or watching a game on my phone.
I'm a huge believer in this. That, man, there's a reason the 55-inch TV is on the wall, and I want to use it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Every once in a while, like if the Penguins are playing, for instance, and like we're on the road. And I want to catch some of the game, like while we're on the bus between the airport to the hotel.
There's a time and place.
I'll fire up the hockey game on my phone, but even then, I'm like, this is miserable. I don't know how you guys do this all the time.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason that you get the bigger laptop and iPad.
Yeah.
I'm that guy. Yeah. But the point is, it's on Peacock.
I was thinking the other day,
here we
go.
Are
we close to tablets becoming obsolete? Because phones are getting big enough and the quality of the video on phones is good enough that tablets are going to go away? Or is the kind of tablet laptop hybrid setup now trending toward ubiquity to the point that it is entrenched in the culture?
I think both of those things are true. I use this laptop differently than I use my tablet.
Yeah.
So I think that there's a time and a place for both uses. However, the hybridization, I'm a fan of that. I like that ability.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm with you.
Because I was an iPad guy for a long time. Sorry for the brand reference. Tablet. And I just don't.
Yeah, Rob is often like the other game. You're like me. Like the other game is on while you're consuming a live game in the press box.
But I have yeah.
That's what I use it for in a lot of circumstances.
Yeah. Wi-Fi can be, as our fans know, a little tricky in the stadium.
Right. That's what the dongle is for to Ethernet, Rob.
Yeah.
Do you need a dongle? I've got 50.
I just like The word
dongle.
It's very funny.
Great word. But I say this seriously. Jim asked, like, where's the TV coverage and what happened to network TV? That is part of the new TV era that we're in. I mean, I think that streaming, we used to call it over-the-top cable, right? Like, streaming has become television. And so what is television? It's just that's where the broadcast is.
Yeah,
Peacock will have the video coverage.
I mean, smart TVs, I think, hopefully have become common enough that folks are kind of used to this right now. And obviously not everybody adopts technology at the same speed, and so certainly cognizant of that. But I thought what we saw with the Olympic coverage and how popular, Peacock in particular was there, hopefully a lot of folks who might not necessarily have been as familiar before that point, that was an entry point for them to that app in particular, but just, getting used to, if you hadn't already, getting used to consuming content that way.
Yeah, and I should say, like, I am of the generation where I grew up with this, right? Like, I've had streaming services as long as they've been a thing. I'm just that way. Not everybody is, to your point about adopting it at different speeds. And
not everybody's young.
Well, or not everybody wants to have that level of technology.
Right.
I'm sensitive to that too, Hey, as the radio guy, we love people with transistor radios in the stands. Those are our people. Like, please still do that. Or if you want your modern transistor radio, it's your phone, right? That's the way that things have kind of gone. But I will say, and I hope that our TV brethren are okay with me saying this, there's a free trial of Peacock that you can sign up for. Is that okay to say?
No dongle required.
No dongle required. That was good. Look at you. You're in midseason form again today.
I perked up a little bit, but the sandwich is starting to take its toll again.
You're not a nap guy, are you?
Dude. So we talked the other day about how, like, I'm becoming a morning person.
Yeah.
I'm starting to be a nap guy.
What's happening to you?
I know. I think I'm getting old.
Is it finally happening?
Yes.
You have, like, the youngest soul of anyone relative to your age, though.
Fortunately, like, a little 20-minute, not even really falling asleep thing can help a lot.
Wow.
But, yeah, man, it's disconcerting.
Okay. Dave asked, what player are you most worried about from Boise State this Saturday? Well,
it's the running back, right?
I think the national narrative has to be Ashton Genty. I mean, Heisman potential running back.
First-round draft pick.
Dan Lanning said that he's the best running back he's seen since he's been at Oregon. That's high praise.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Because, there's been some really good players who have had, productive days against Oregon. And so that is high praise. It's not like Oregon hasn't faced a bunch of good backs the last couple of years. So, yeah, definitely has this team's attention, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think that also we should put it from the Boise State side, they gave up a ton of points at Georgia Southern, also scored a ton of points at Georgia Southern. One of the takeaways that I had from listening to their side of things on Monday is just that. Like, they're saying, hey, we need to play better defensively.
Yeah.
Ducks are saying, Ducks need to play better offensively.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Storylines. We love them.
Storylines. Do we? Sometimes.
Yeah, we need them to do our job.
Yes. I like the storylines to come from the game. You know me. I'm not big, like, storyline guy.
We'll find out.
We will find out. That's often how I end shows. That's probably not great for the modern broadcast world. See? We've come full circle. He's Rob Moseley, the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com. Anything else fans should know? What are you working on this week?
I think that's it. Just the football game, right?
Yeah.
No, soccer's at home.
Soccer's at home.
On Sunday. Yeah, so I'll be there for that.
Volleyball's on the road.
Yep. I'm looking forward to watching that. I think I'm going to recap that Friday night. And interested to check that out. Yeah, they really got better over the course of the first weekend.
Yeah.
So, are they going to come out just like gangbusters on Friday? People say that anymore, like gangbusters?
I know what you mean.
I don't really say it.
I don't know.
I'm not sure why that just popped out of my mouth.
Sandwich.
Like gangbusters. Yeah, it's messing with my chemistry.
Yep.
It's not as good as dongle.
No, that's an elite word.
Elite
word. Also, Priest Trail Run for Oregon cross country coming up Friday evening. More details on that on GoDucks.com. But cross country season, I don't know if this happens to you, but cross country season always sneaks up on me because there's very few home events for cross country.
Right.
But one of them coming up, Priest Trail Run, 7 o'clock. It's scheduled to start on Friday. More details again, GoDucks.com. He's Rob Moseley, the editor-in-chief of that aforementioned website, GoDucks.com. Thanks, dude.
I need a nap.
When we come back, Rob will be asleep. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. All right, so today we talked with Derek Harmon, we talked with Jamari Caldwell, and we talked with Trayshawn Holden. We took a poll amongst the Quack Video crew, our OSN broadcast intern extraordinaire, Saul Galvan, and Austin Oda, both running the show today. And they said, play Trayshawn Holden. So, we're going to give the people what they want. Trayshawn Holden, Oregon wide receiver, he met with the media after practice today.
Game one of the books, how do you feel like you guys do as an offense? Where do you think you can get better this week?
I feel like we probably needed to improve really everything. Our mindset is probably the main thing, just going into that game. We already think we had to win, and we can't go into games like that. So that's why it's been our main focus this week, and we definitely plan to improve on that.
As one of the leaders of this team, what are you doing specifically this week to try and get that out of these guys?
Just reminding them, like, it don't matter about who we play at the end of the day, it's us versus us, and it all depends on what we want to put on film. Like, if we say we're the best offense in the country, we got to show that every week, no matter who we playing.
What's changed then in your preparation from the previous week now to this week to make sure that doesn't happen?
Really just, like I said, like the mindset, like my preparation for games is always going to be the same, like how I prepare. But as a whole, I feel like I feel like we have been, but at that time we needed to lock in and really, you feel me, just focus up. Yeah.
What's the key to finding the end zone a little bit more this week?
Really just explosive plays. Like, we just got to break tackles, feel me, at receiver, when we get the ball, make it happen, for real. Yeah, and that's what's going to happen.
There's a lot of passes downfield last game. What do you attribute that to?
Really, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It was a bunch of things that was going wrong. Like, it was just like, it was bad. It was bad on us, for sure. Yeah.
You've had a couple years with Alabama and moving a lot, and there's been a lot of changes, a lot of offensive changes specifically. Yeah. How do you help yourself find consistency?
I feel like me being an older player, like being in like a few different systems, like change it, like either it's good or bad, you're gonna have to do it. Like, no matter who the coach is, like whatever he calling, you're gonna have to go in there and run it. So I feel like with us, we just We got to finish. That's our biggest thing. We get into the red zone. We just got to finish.
In a wide receiver room with so many names, so much talent, what do you do in practice to help yourself stand out?
Really just be yourself. Well, I be me. Like, everybody know when I walk on the field, like, he come for straight business. Like, and that's all. That's how I prepare, and that's what I do every day, every practice. So
Watching tape, what have you seen from this Boise State defense?
Boise, they play man, and that's what I like. So hopefully they do that.
Why do you like man?
Because I don't think nobody can guard me. Nobody.
You guys tired about talking about last week at all? Or how excited are you to put something new on?
No, I really like how I'm really excited just to feel me, because I don't know. I'm just ready to go. I'm just ready, man. Like, I don't know. I'm just happy, like, to be here and everything. It's just, I feel like it's gonna be a good week for sure. We've been having good practices. Like, it's gonna be fun.
With the team just being ready to play.
And today was a good day. Good day. It was a good day. Yeah.
Coach Lanning was talking a little bit about the history of this series, that Oregon's never beaten them. What does that matter to you? I mean, I realize a lot of guys and transfers come in here, but like, does that? You didn't play them, so.
I'm about to say they ain't beat me.
Yeah.
But Coach Lanning wasn't here when they won, so they ain't beat none of us. So we just gotta go out there and make a new streak or whatever they call it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I like that honesty from Trayshawn Holden, because there's so much history between programs, but every new season is a different team. Every staff is different. The coaching staffs change. I do think that like myself, for example, maybe I think about those past instances between two programs than maybe the current players and coaches do. Now, if you have longevity, right, one coach versus another, maybe that comes up more. I think about like Dane Altman was the longest tenured coach in the Pac-12. Now there's going to be some new coaching matchups and maybe some rivalries that develop in Big Ten basketball with the new era. I don't know. I think that makes for it's interesting, I guess, to remind myself of that at times. That Trayshawn Holden said it like, well, they've never beaten me since I've been here at Oregon. Yeah, that's true. It is a new era and a new matchup when the Ducks face the Broncos coming up at 7 o'clock, televised on Peacock on Saturday. When we come back, your Cafe Yum 2-minute drill looking around Oregon athletics. 4 fall sports all in action this weekend. Stick with us. We'll be back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company. Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
You say you'd never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, know it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Schedule ahead for the Ducks as we welcome you back inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Every Monday and Wednesday, we go through the Cafe Yum 2-minute drill. 2-minute drill brought to you by Cafe Yum, serving fresh food fast with organic ingredients. Enjoy a famous Yum Bowl at 23 Cafe Yum restaurants throughout the Northwest, home of the Ducks. 2-minute drill. All right. Thursday, 5 o'clock in Lubbock, Texas, Oregon soccer taking on Texas Tech in one of those games that could end up being super valuable at the end of the season. Power conference opponent on the road. You get a win there, resume looks pretty darn good. Ducks are coming off a win against CSUN at home, but the last time the Ducks went on the road, didn't perform the way they wanted. Lost a couple games in the state of New Mexico. Now they're headed to Texas tomorrow. It's televised on Big 12 Now and ESPN Plus. 5 o'clock, the start time for Oregon women's soccer at Texas Tech. And then Oregon volleyball will play 3 matches in Fort Collins as part of a tournament, kind of jamboree style, a rotational tournament. Colorado State, the first opponent for the Ducks at 5 o'clock on Friday. Then at 3:30, the Ducks will play Grand Canyon on Saturday. And at 10 a.m. Pacific time, they'll finish up the trip to Fort Collins, matching up with Central Arkansas at 10 a.m. on Sunday. Then I mentioned the Prees Trail Run when Rob was with us. Oregon track and field, you don't get a lot of opportunities in Eugene, Oregon to compete. The Ducks will do that with the Prees Trails Run starting at 7 o'clock on Friday. More details will be on GoDucks.com. Of course, Oregon football, 7 o'clock, wear green against Boise State. Ducks hosting the Broncos at Autzen Stadium. 5 o'clock pregame show for us across the Oregon Sports Network. 7 o'clock start, a 7:05 official kickoff on Peacock. Also, men's golf in the Sahaley Players Championship up in Chemamish, Washington. Casey Martin's team begins the fall season this weekend on Saturday. We'll have a recap of that for you on Monday as well. And Oregon soccer at home, 1 o'clock on Sunday. See you tonight for the Coaches Show.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry.
I can roller skate while walking my dog.
I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving.